Эй, ну что, всем привет, продолжаем проходить с Elysium. Мне тут сразу интересные новости. За прошлое видео, за пятую часть, получается, мне влупили монетизацию. Из-за того, что вот эта музыка, которая сейчас на заднем фоне играет, бац, им что-то не понравилось, блять. Какой раз уже записываю, и именно сейчас. Ну, да хер с ним, все равно у меня монетизации нет. У нас появилось окошечко, с нашим можно поговорить. Кимом. Полушепотом говорит лейтенант. А чего ты ожидал?
Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchman.
Да, а я думал, все прошло хорошо.
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
Так. Мы можем просто, ну, типа, найти мое удостоверение.
That would be fantastic, but do we have the time? The world is large, and your badge is 8 by 6 centimeters.
Вот
The
тут, да.
situation might have changed drastically by the time you locate it. Time is of the essence.
You could request a new one from your station, but that would literally take months.
Скорее всего, ее предложение было лишь частью плана, как и все остальные.
Yes.
Вот,
Knowing
Чконок,
this does not
наконец-то.
really change our position, however.
А ты что предлагаешь делать? Отказаться расследовать контрабанду наркотиков?
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done and demand for her information on the lynching.
Ладно, вернемся к ней, закончить разговор. Но для начала мы... Я вот все думал на эмпатию прокачать силу воли. Давайте в эмпатию. Дадим очко. За себя и за мое очко. Так, и вот тут вот. О, как много хотел. А чего я не могу? Заблокировать новый ячейку или исследование мыслей. Необходимо, чтобы разблокировать ячейку. И что я? И почему? Когда она разблокируется? Ладно. Грустно. Продолжаем с ней разговаривать. Хотя время уже 7 вечера практически. Так. У меня есть еще остались вопросы по поводу этой реальности. В какие времена мы живем?
Unimportant times, detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Опоздали к чему?
For the big time.
А что за великие времена?
Revolution.
Ха, и что же это за революция, которую мне постоянно твердят?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Так. И когда случился этот кавардак?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
И кто ее начал?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Mazov came along and overthrew the government.
И куда все это распространилось?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years
А что
later.
случилось потом?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie.
Наши жизни очень сильно отличаются друг от друга.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust.
Ну, это да. Ну, блядь, круто. Давай, мы дышим одним кислородом, блядь, стоим на одной земле. Что такое зона контроля?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the coalition of nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia.
The clatter of typewriter keys fills the main hall of the reappropriated silk mill. Precinct 41. Chad Tilbrook presses enter.
The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain.
А что случилось с остальным миром?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Хотите сказать, это уже продолжается 43 года?
Time flies.
И чем мы занимались все это
The
время?
20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before, 08 to 19.
А что потом?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first... No. It was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing. The 40s dispelled it like, welcome to reality, baby.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
Good question. What would you have done differently? You and everyone else. But that's got nothing to do with preventing the revolution. Ah, well. What was, was. The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything. Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolution. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the old. They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended.
We. She's one of them. Of course.
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights. The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay, the armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands.
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same...
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work. Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intraspecies warfare. No, I would say the apes were neutral. On the other hand, those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got... Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed. Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people. Yes, the Red Deluge. The Insulindian Deluge, they call it. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad. Yes, King Guillaume had a nose for bad PR. He ran before it. What is the expression? Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time. They picked the winning side. That's why they're here, and others are not. Perhaps it wouldn't have turned out that way had I been in charge. I might have bet on the king and led the Pines to doom. I would have sided with the cannons. If you'd seen the calibers of the things, you might have too. 10 of the 14 Indo tribes got it wrong. Feld, Kupri, Tricentennial. So I suppose I would have been in good company. They are what they are. Who knows? Anyway, enough sentimental.
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious.
She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest in case he goes down later, souring the entire portfolio.
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
She nods slowly. She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor, a devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine.
Haven't you heard? I am a nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. One of those who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. We surrendered the nation to financier pirates. No sane person identifies as ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. I can...
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades, forgive her, but only because you like pearlescent teeth and those light green eyes.
I do hope so. I do hope we're able to remain collegial despite it all. When the dust settled, the Liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation. With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker, I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the Coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched.
Then for my daughters, we had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than...
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
Perhaps my intellectual vanity...
You're no dummy yourself.
A smart boy getting smarter, one basic term of reality at a time. Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot.
Seditious talk, man.
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother and a wife. Now, shall we return to reality? A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions? Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games. Ah! This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the or 2. A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are... This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the... Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off. Splat, splat. Wonderful. The girl in the old lady rags. Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture. Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture. I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself, even those who... All right, what next? Glad to have been of assistance, the little that I know. Anything else? It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing.
Ingredients for what?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff. Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is...
Wildpine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, man. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredient. Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dockworkers Union. Still, every chain has its...
The handoff. The motor lorries at the roundabout.
Precisely. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a... Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a... I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you. We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not...
Well, here's your chance, officers. No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge, The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. This is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the trade committee, they'll have no choice but to lower. Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Tract and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand. How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the fourth.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves. Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver.
It sounds like she tried looking into it herself, though she's clearly not the type your typical lorryman would confide in.
Yes? Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. It may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance.
Hello again, my man. What's on your mind? Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves of my own consciousness, you know? But those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man?
Just be straight with him.
We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbor to load it on their lorry and drive it to Jamrock.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration. Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another...
We wouldn't say he's lying, sire.
Looking for something? Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body. You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Miriza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here and then use it. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight, so they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow.
There's your in. Take his side in this particular fight. He eyes you warily, unsure how to respond. Damn. It didn't work. You should have signaled you're a national.
I don't know shit. And if I did, I wouldn't tell you. What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking around at night. If they touch my stuff, the bosses will be on my ass.
There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby. The man pulls on his cigarette furiously, probably still thinking about mosquitoes and askans.
Isn't it obvious? Fucking Sealang, that beady-eyed South Samaran. His little side business is a scam. I wouldn't be... He's a Samaran guy who likes to pretend he's some kind of businessman. Really, he's just selling his employer stuff. Stuff just follows the smell. It smells like apricot and oil.
Yes, yes. Where?
Looks like I offended your partner there. Too bad. Sealang's usually a little bit south of here, near the canal. You can't miss him. His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood. He's your man, all right. One.
I wouldn't be so sure about it. Not until we've heard what Sealang himself has to say.
Guess so.
The woman still has her eyes fixed on the photograph. Nothing. Her smile just keeps widening. There's a pile of cheap sunglasses in a small box, a variety of shapes.
You like sunglasses, officer? I've got the latest styles right here.
Abort. These are hideous. What's more, they don't even fit your face.
Damn, officer! You look like a mega secret spy. Very secret.
It's going to be very difficult for anyone to take you serious.
No, you are definitely not buying those.
Are you sure? But they look so good on you. You should think this through, officer.
These are all boring. Boring third-rate ho-hum sunglasses. Those UV stickers are almost certainly just there for the show. If anything, these lenses probably direct.
These are all first-rate sunglasses. Premium design, superb material, very cool. UV resistant. These will definitely keep your eyes safe.
There are clothes inside. Cheap second.
Don't be shy. These are premium class clothes.
Save the economy. That sounds off.
Haven't you heard, officer? We've got to be economically conscious. Recycle your cash, keep it in circulation. Don't buy new things. Buy eco.
Не, я считаю это круто, то, что мне микрофон решил пойти по пизде. Ну, в принципе, вы все так видели, все читали. Я там, может быть, много чего вырежу. Ладно. Так. Это бессмыслица какая-то. Почему эту экономику нужно спасать? Спасибо за совет. Я постараюсь быть экономически сознательным.
Very cool. The economy thanks you, officer.
Посмотреть содержимое коробки.
Find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends that make
Economical, but also trendy. Look first hand, buy second hand. Keep the economy
Так, ну
moving.
давайте попробуем что-то поискать цены в куче тряпок.
something cold grazes your hand. Synthetic and sleek, a windbreaker. Surf.
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's only $4.50 for you, sir.
Так, еще какие-то
You
коробки.
see two lowly, defeated speakers, thralls, slaves basically, perched atop them.
I can see you with taste for luxury, officer. Can't keep your eyes off.
A pair of
Смотреть
sound
кроссовки.
ultras. The design is impossibly sleek and simple. A futuristic silhouette with a sleek monochrome colorway.
Those sneakers, mister. Those sneakers are the latest found sneakers. Super air, super fine.
Only that's madness.
Скорость реакции, сохраняется энциклопедия именно. Смотреть колонки.
These once respectable speakers have been conquered, reduced to a mere
No, don't look at the speakers, officer. Look at the sneakers. The sneakers are the stars here.
Но я уже смотрел на кроссовки.
Then look at them again. These are the premium lifestyle sneakers, officer. The best on the market.
Купить грустные нежно-морские колонки.
No way, officer. These aren't for sale. They're bad speakers. Low-fi socialist junk.
Но мне нужны колонки.
Well, if you want them, but see, they are the pedestal for my sneakers. If I let go of the speakers, where will the sneakers go? If, on the other hand, you wanted to buy the
damn. So you have to buy the sneakers first.
Не, мне пока ничего не придется покупать. Так, ладно, давайте с ним начнем говорить.
You see a Samarran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. The name Sileng is embroidered over his breast pocket.
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's cool here.
Что круто.
Everything's cool. The goods are cool. The customers are cool. You're very cool. Bang, 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 bang.
Серьезно, ты считаешь, что я крутой?
Oh, yes. You got style. You got personal style. You like premium menswear. Look around and browse. Everything looks cool on a guy like...
Don't be distracted by the flattery and funny man act. Questions.
Откуда ты, Сиелень?
Me? It's a boring story, officer. Who cares about the...
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty.
Ты из абрикосового сюзеренитета, верно?
Apricot Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized by Revachol. It's a bit of a slur, in other words.
Не беспокойся, дай ему ответить.
That's right, officer. But it's a bad scene for business there. Too many regulations. Hey, why not support this local entrepreneur? You can start by buying a pair of sexy pants or cool sunglasses. Maybe some macaroni?
Скажи, Сиелень, что ты думаешь о наркотиках?
Drugs? I don't go in for that, officer. Drugs ruin life. Unless you're into drugs, of course. In which case, drugs are excellent. Mwah! Tasty, tasty drugs.
Я очень увлекаюсь наркотиками.
That's very cool. A lot of the coolest detectives do drugs. Sadly, I don't have any drugs on sale. Or at my home, or on my person.
Мы ищем водителя грузовика, который перевозит наркотики из порта. Он или она где-то в этой пробке.
That's even cooler. You investigating that and all. But, I am not a lorry.
A blatant lie, sire. Yet he tells it with such conviction. We'd believe him if we didn't know better.
Но ты водитель. Другой шофер познал тебя и твой грузовик.
Who said that? It's the fat racist, right? I bet it's him. He has an agenda against me.
So you admit you're a lorry driver?
No, I just said I work harder, and he's an asshole.
Realizing he can't get out of it. Smart man.
Okay, maybe I'm a lorry driver too. A little. But that's not the most important thing about me. That's my day job. This is my dream.
Так ты забыл мне сказать?
Exactly. It's such a small part of my life. It's in the rear view mirror now. I'm climbing out of that hole with ingenuity.
Хватит юлить. Что тебе известно о перевозке наркотиков в порту?
Nothing. I told you. I'm not a
And what crowd?
crowd. You know.
No, he wasn't talking about an abstract crowd. It was that crowd.
Хорошо, если ты не знаешь, что я расскажу твоему нанимателю, что ты продаешь его
No
груз.
use. He's not telling us. He's too afraid. We need to take him to my station and
Okay, look. There's bad people doing bad things here. That's all I know. Please don't get me into this.
Here we go. There's a tiny bit of truth on the table. Zoom in on it.
Мы с тобой друзья, Силен. Так, помоги же нам. Никто не знает, что это был ты.
It's a she, okay? The other drivers call her the lady driver. You're better off staying away from her. The way they talk about her, she's no lady.
Эта рулевая дама случайно не та пожилая женщина? Показать надо любовь очень странно и не в себе.
I don't know. Maybe. If she is, I haven't gone near her.
It could be. She was strange. He's not ruling her out.
А кто эти другие водители, которые они говорят?
All of them. I don't know. I told you all I know.
who exactly is talking about this lady driver of yours? The racist or...
All of them. Even the ones who've left. I don't hang out
Ладно,
with them.
проехали.
All right. I scored. Let's cap this off with a purchase. You can walk away from here with funky sunglasses, detective. Both of you.
Убедить его дать тебе денег. Ладно,
Start
убеждаю.
with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business.
Видишь, ты крайне успешный предприниматель. Может, ты и найдешь возможность поддержать сотрудника местной полиции.
Oh, okay. But why?
After all this mess, the broken seals, lying to you,
Считай это
An
вложением.
investment? What kind of investment?
Вложение в мое молчание. Я не скажу твоему работодателю, что ты здесь занимаешься.
That! You drive a hard bargain, officer. I respect that. Okay.
Ну, лям он точно
What's it going to
10.
cost me? Be
Такое.
reasonable.
5, ну 10.
Sounds like a fair deal all around.
Все, залутали.
Corruption.
just like
Пофиг.
bus or seagull. A kid watching out of a window describing things going by.
Спасибо, да, тут смотрюсь. Изи. Изи десяточку залутали. Так, люк. А из конденсации поднимается горячий воздух, кислый, едкий и почему-то успокаивающий. О, это что, нам? А куда только ее сдавать-то, вот это все дерьмо? Ладно. Так, подошел я к Томми. Я слышал, что среди шоферов есть женщина, но ее, похоже, тут нету. Ты знаешь эту рулевую даму?
I don't want to talk about that.
Он переменивает с ноги на ногу, и ему явно вдруг становится неуютно, потому что потом он отворачивается. Не хочу давить, но мне нужна твоя помощь. Похоже, она замешана в делах с наркотиками.
I was hoping it isn't going to be her. All I can say is, she isn't around here anymore. She isn't some evil drug trafficker. And I don't know where she is.
Я уже спрашивал тебя, кто занимается наркоторговлей. Ты сказал, что не знаешь, а теперь выясняется, что
I
знаешь.
didn't, man. I told you I was hoping it's not her.
He still is, hoping. It's just wishful thinking on his part. It's true. We would have caught a lie. But, emotional rhetoric. He knew something and he didn't share it with you. That's a fact.
Что это за человек, как его зовут?
Thank God I don't know. People here call her the lady driver. She kept her name a secret. From me too.
А кто она тебе?
A friend? An acquaintance. I don't know. She was the only person in this damn jam I could talk to. She's someone I don't want to rat out to the law, okay?
Как она выглядит?
A youngish woman. Gruff, but
What color hair?
blue and violet. Died. It was violet when she got here. Blue before she went.
Then she may have dyed it again.
А когда она уехала?
Damn, I don't want to... Please just let it go. Whatever she did, it can't be that bad. She's not a bad...
We can't just let it go.
That's how it always is with you, isn't it? All part of the investigation. The girl's troubled. If you hunt her down,
It won't come to that. We won't pursue her on this. This is...
I don't believe you.
Ты говоришь, у нее свои тараканы. Что это
She's
значит?
got the darkness in her. That young person's darkness when you think it's all over.
She shared this with you?
Yes. Which is why I don't want to snitch on her.
Мне говорили, что все ее боятся. Ты нет.
I heard the rumors. I saw the other drivers looking at me strange when we talked. And she told me, too, that she's had a violent life. But
Did this violent life include drug trafficking?
well, it looks like it did now. But we didn't talk about that. We talked about life, you know? She talked about her mind,
А творится у нее в
the way
голове.
it worked, the trouble it was giving her.
Когда она уехала, то оставила свой грузовик.
Fuck, man. Go grill someone else with these questions, okay? There are plenty of drivers here who couldn't stand her or were afraid of her.
He's right. There are other options. The raceman for one.
Реально, расист надо спросить.
The grey-haired woman. Maybe she knows. Wait, this guy says they're friends, then acquaintances, and he pushed Tommy, and it will break his heart and his spirit. Don't expect you to be pals.
Ну, блин, ну на самом деле, типа, он нам есть никто. Ну, просто реально, типа, вот этот человеческая душа, неохота его ломает. Оставим пока это дело. Да,
Thank you,
может,
friend.
чуть позже там его доконаем.
Wow, this makes me feel like I should pick up smoking again.
Так, пойдемте к расисту. Уж он-то нам сейчас что-нибудь. А что мне тут сюда? Инструменты. Да не, вроде ничего не можем. Блин, куда эту тару сдать? Так.
Looking for something?
Я вижу, что ты увиливаешь от ответа. Говори прямо, где рулевая дама.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Во-первых, ты знал, что Селень этого не делал.
He did something. He stole his employer's goods and another lorryman's job. You should be thankful for the tip.
Просто скажи мне, какой грузовик ее.
Listen up, fuckwits. You don't scare me. You cops don't run Revachol West. You don't run Martinez. You don't run anything.
А кто управляет? Ты?
No. He means la puta madre.
A legendary, and not in a good way, crime boss from Jamrock. Control. Looks like the lieutenant has a plan. Let him.
Yeah, him.
Скрестить руки и кивнуть.
Then I presume you are familiar with his peonies.
Yeah, they're his little bitches. He's got them all over the unions.
Not just the unions. He has peonies everywhere. Some say he even has them in the RCM. Dirty fucking peonies who'd do anything for him.
О, нормально, нормально.
Idiot.
The lieutenant adopts a rodentine quality. Be cool, sire. He's getting.
You're not peonies. You wouldn't be investigating a drug thing.
No, of course not. We are not peonies. But if we were, and one of Madre's drivers were to be stealing from him, then it's a good peonies.
He's surprisingly good at this. Not bad at all. Look at him learn.
It's not a hard job. It won't take a long time. It won't make Padre Madre angry. But a stupid fucking racist is standing in the way. Protect.
I'm not scared of you or the mob. I'm under the protection of the lorryman.
You've seen that corpse in the ceramic armor there. Did his shitty little guild.
Nah, you wouldn't just leave him out there if you...
Предательски трясутся
The
руки, ясно.
lieutenant turns and gives you a barely. I've softened him up as best I could. Now it's on you. Be careful. This man's still got some fight in him, by the looks of it. It won't be easy to break him.
Блять, 42%! Похуй.
The main
Блять!
is to not overdo it, even when you're trying to scare someone. The most important thing is, how does it look on your resume?
Давай-ка мы с тобой выйдем и поговорим.
What? What do you think we're doing right now? Run
Проклятие, имею в виду, что...
outside
Пиздец, я скоро сдохну.
talking.
Ну, найти местечко, где никого нет.
There's some kind of homo thing?
Восстановите здоровье.
Make me run.
Let's just go and ask Tommy, alright? We are wasting our time here.
Блять. Ублюдок. Ну мне просто не вкачана эта вот эта херня. Где это, блять? Трепет. Пойдемте к бабке. В общем, притопала к ней, щелкнул пальцами, оказывается, тут дальше можно. Дважды щелкнуть пальцами.
The smile on her face has disappeared, replaced by the wary aspect of a cornered beast.
Вы в порядке, уважаемая? Вы были в отключке.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam in the 50s.
А где вы могли бы быть?
Back in Mecca, during the time of the revolution. The sidewalks and cafes are filled with the young people. Until you came along, that is.
Прошу прощения, что прервал ваши грезы, уважаемая.
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, Loman. It was early spring, and the man behind the black sun had just come out. The posters were 20 meters tall, while you, people, were tearing each other apart over your...
The Republic of Mesk is a massive confederation on the Isola of Muindi, the world's largest state by territory. It's a petrostate, a constitutional...
Кто такой Габриэль Буэнагеру?
This is Gabriel Buenguerro.
A
Посмотреть.
strikingly handsome man looks straight at you, his head crowned with a wide brim. This man's got a hold over her, even fit.
He was the biggest star of his day. Girls used to faint in the aisles of cinema whenever he came on the screen. And
In all likelihood, it's a world that's only ever existed in her mind.
Я так понимаю, в молодости вы жили в Меске?
someone was...
Кто-то, разве это не ваше воспоминание?
They are someone's memories, boy. What difference does it make if they're beautiful? That is all that matters. Beautiful and true. And they will win. They're coming for this, you know? All of this.
She seems to derive some bitter pleasure from this strange thought, as if the past will one day wipe the present away, like a tidal wave approaching.
Что ж, у меня есть еще к вам еще вопросы.
Why not, Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole.
О, погнали. Что вы перевозите?
Diamonds?
Бриллианты, правда?
Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous if I was?
Вероятно, что вы на самом деле перевозите.
Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine.
То есть вы не знаете, что погрузили собственный грузовик?
I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo.
А что если груз окажется
Then
контрабандой?
it's contraband, Loman. What? Do you want to take an old woman in? Be my guest.
Bad hand, Hermenegildos's bad hand, strangled 300 people. What can I say? Some people just really like
И
strangling.
все же я до сих пор не понимаю всю эту историю о Боядейро и Габриэль Буэнагеру.
Of course not. To truly understand the boyadero,
A boyadero, boya for short, is a cow herder from upstream Magritte, the great steppes of northern Mesk. He is a rugged individualist and explorer.
Ясно. Что это?
it's an old ballad about a young girl who falls in love with a daring boyadero. He promises to marry her as soon as he returns.
Я так
from
понимаю,
the
этого не
Western Plain.
происходит?
Of course not. The boyadero returns from the Western Plain a changed man. One night, as he and his beloved are out,
In the background, you can hear the orchestra swell as the screen fills with the maiden's imploring eyes.
И что? Не, кажется, я знаю, чем все
so the
закончится.
boyadero strangles his beloved and throws her body in the Margaret. Then he rides off, because the Western Plain is calling to him.
Прекрасная песня.
The most beautiful. A true boyadero needs a whole horizon to himself. He can be tied down by man or woman. His beloved was selfish. She didn't know what it meant to love a boyadero.
До того, как я пришел, вы казались какой-то далекой.
She's just a distracted old woman. We should maybe let her get back to her thing.
So he doesn't think she's the lady driver.
You hear that, Loman? I don't think your partner likes you spending too much time with me.
Стоит ли водить грузовик, если вы так себя чувствуете?
Oh, don't worry about me. I'm one of the best camioners around. I drive routes no one
Что
else.
это за маршруты?
Monozovsland, Udajnaya Zemlya, Western the Transcatolia Magistral, you for 1A, Adestradas do Mirador, all the good ones, the deep trenches, where the bluebirds fly.
Я в некотором роде эксперт по отключке. Вам не мешало бы проследить за своим
You're
состоянием.
right, Loman. I'm the one who should take my health more seriously. Thank you.
A correct appraisal. You're quite shabby.
Is that all you woke me up to say?
Похоже, что вы неплохо разбираетесь в наркотиках.
What do I need drugs for, Loman? What I see, what I feel, the great adversary, no drugs can compare.
Враг?
Yes, there is a protagonista and an adversario. I am on the side of the other.
Those epithets are familiar somehow. The great adversary. The great unrest.
Я не об этом хотел сказать.
Then what were you?
Maybe if she thought you're corrupt.
Что именно вы перевозите?
Sherman, Loman, what of it?
Хорошо, скажу иначе. Это вы ввозите наркотики через терминал Б?
Maybe, probably not. Makes no difference to me either way.
Как вы можете не знать, что погрузили собственный
Just this
грузовик?
month, I made half a dozen trips from Saramiriza to Grad, and the U for 1A. What do you think they take from Saramiriza to Grad?
Я не
Loman?
знаю, поэтому и спрашиваю
It's
вас.
diamonds, Loman, obviously.
Я не спрашивал вас о бриллиантах, не так ли? До них мне нет никакого дела.
Diamonds are good for you, Loman. You should try them sometime. Make yourself pretty like Eva de Zora.
Если бы потребовалось выбрать наугад, кого бы вы здесь заподозрили в перевозке наркотиков?
He's the skinny man who thinks he's a poet. Never trust a poet. Also, he's the only one I can see from here.
That's correct. There is no visibility of any of the others.
Так. Ну хорошо, если вы не связаны с перевозкой наркотиков, то чего вы здесь ждете?
Where do you want me to go? This isn't so bad. I can listen to music or the seagulls. Look at all the... Or I can just relax and let my mind carry me back where it went.
I think we're done here, no?
Ладно.
Yes, go. Enough jamboree.
Почему не думать, что она, блядь, это
Yes.
баба? Ага. Вообще ничего даже говорить нельзя. Блядь, странно. Я так подумал, все-таки нам придется
Hello again,
его
my man.
додушить.
What's on your
Я
mind?
передумал насчет твоей подружки, рулевой дамы.
But I told you she's my friend. Please don't make me give her up, detective. Get someone else. There's a ton of drivers here.
Поставь себя на мое место. Мне это нужно для другого расследования. Это важно. Я не могу его
You're not
провалить.
gonna put a bullet in your head if you blow it, are you? Because she's on the edge, man.
Значит, ты не против, если ее сдадут другие. Ты просто свои руки морать не хочешь.
Fine. I don't want to be a butcher. And I don't want to be a knight either. I just want to be a person who can sleep at night. A little fame wouldn't hurt too.
Ладно, она подозреваемая, ты должен мне сказать, где она, иначе я не смогу закончить расследование.
I thought you were a different kind of cop.
The realization that you've used his friendliness and goodwill for your
Где
own
находится рулевая дама?
Lori's still here. Down past the statue of Philippe. The cabin is green. You can get in there with these. That's all I know.
When did she leave?
Last Friday.
Угу. Мы его сломали. Сожалею, что им пришлось это сделать. Извинимся.
I bet you are.
Не
And he's
сомневаюсь.
sorry he couldn't be what he wants to be. A good person. His last line. His revenge.
Что-нибудь еще не знаешь, где она сейчас?
No, I don't know.
Еще не вопрос
Да.
такой.
I need to think my own thoughts now. Pray forgiveness for my sins.
Ладно. Ну вот. Дернули и побежали, значит. Чела. Блин, ну жалко, на самом деле. Я не хотел, просто я других вообще вариантов не вижу. Так, вот это вот, да?
This green
Брошенный
fowl,
грузовик.
A to Z, contemporary, is parked in the shadow of the ruins.
This is the one our man pointed to.
Попробовать заглянуть в
The
окно.
glass on the side windows is tinted and covered with dust.
Подергать
You can
дверную
barely make
ручку.
out the door is locked. The handle looks shiny. like
Открыть
it's recently
дверь ключом,
replaced.
которым дал тебе
You
Томми.
push the key into the lock and turn. It makes a cracking sound. Then the
Открыть.
smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered with old movie posters. Actresses smile from the walls. There's a radio transmitter in the front.
Оценить плакаты.
These are movie posters featuring starlets from long-forgotten films. One of them particularly catches your eye. A centerfold of an ingenue attached right above the back seat.
Изучить постеры из
The
журнала.
actress is draped in a sheath dress, one of her shoulders bared. This is Tijon, a starlet from the dawn of cinematography. Less known for her
Что с ней
talent,
случилось?
she wasted away in a drug den called the Door to the River, not far from here, on Boogie Street. A mixture of cocaine and morphine.
Довольно
The
плакатов.
actresses and the rear actor all smile you a warm goodbye. A radio transmitter is attached.
Смотреть радио.
Looks like the frequency dial is absent. It requires a key to work, but the key...
Strange. There are so many radio stations saved here. Must be over 100 at least.
А зачем кому-то столько
For
радиостанций?
contacting an entire fleet of lorrymen, for example. This is all shortwave, UW. Looks like we are dealing with an impressive organizational tool. The nerve center of a huge operation.
Мы можем что-то сделать с радио?
Doesn't look like it. It's completely
Что тут
inoperable.
еще есть?
The smell of 1000 cigarettes.
Осмотреть
Some-
педали.
You wedge yourself under the steering wheel to get a better look. Seems like the few tools lying around here. But one odd detail does catch your eye. A piece of sandpaper has been glued to the sandpaper adds extra grip.
Похоже, что шофер наклеил на педали газа наждачную бумагу, чтобы не скользила нога.
Sandpaper. A novel technique.
Снова
The
в
movie
кабину.
stars are still
Вытащить выдвижной
sliding
ящик
from
с
the wall. A
инструментами.
metallic drawer slides out from the seat. It's empty, except for a
Развернуть
folder. It's
газету.
an issue of Petty Ferric from last Wednesday. A piece of paper falls out from
Подобрать
it looks like
бумажку.
an article ripped out from a radio enthusiast magazine. Complex mathematical equations
The Uland frequency system? I've never heard of that before. I know of FM, AM, UKV, but...
Задвинуть выдвижной ящик с
The
инструментами.
pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest. The rest is as it was. Radio, posters, a trace of motor oil smell under all the cigarettes.
Закрыть
You
дверь.
close the rusty old
Great. I think we got everything. A word, detective? Before we return to Joyce?
Отойдем на грузовика. Чего ты хотел?
All right, we've finished here. Let's quickly debrief and go over what we found, so we don't do it in front of the company rep.
Похоже на стандартную полицейскую процедуру. Ким, что ты обо всем этом думаешь?
Honestly, I'm quite worried by what we've seen so far. The evidence seems to point to a rather... I'm especially intrigued by that radio transmitter, particularly the sheer number of stations it can connect. Looks like this alleged drug trade.
This means it's well funded. Technology like
I'm not sure what the Uland frequencies are all about, but they may hold some significance. Perhaps it's a better way to connect between fleets while avoiding frequency bleed. Or maybe it's used to tap into RCM network.
А что насчет плакатов? Какую роль они в этом играют?
As elegant as they are, I don't think they are relevant to the drug trade.
На плакатах было много женщин, особенно если учесть, что водитель женщина.
Yes, well,
unimportant.
Как, по-твоему, это связано с профсоюзом?
We didn't find anything conclusive linking them to the smuggling operation. But somehow, I doubt that Evrard Clare would be oblivious to something like this happening. My suggestion is, we use it against the Union in any way we can, to our own ends. It's a slippery hill, but we just might be able to pin them down, indirectly.
РГМ начнет
We should
расследование.
return to the murder case. See what Joyce tells us about the lynching. When we are done for the day, I call my station and suggest our knock. There are more than enough grounds to start an official investigation. Sometime later, when we are done here. We do not
А
want
сам
to-
что
The
думаешь?
fact that one hasn't started already gives me pause. An investigation, I mean. Especially if the Madrid grouping is involved, and I can't imagine they aren't. It's certainly worrisome.
Коррупция.
All the same, I don't like the idea of internal affairs descending on the matter. That won't help anyone either.
Ладно, закончим обсуждение.
Debrief over. After you.
Так, и... Возвращайтесь к Джойте, расскажите, что удалось узнать. Ну, я думаю, вернемся к ней уже в следующей серии. Это будет немного, надеюсь, поменьше серия. Придется мне некоторые моменты вырезать. Вот. А так, спасибо всем за просмотр, лайки, дизлайки, подписка, подписка. Комменты, не комменты. И всем пока-пока.